So eliminate Mahomes and Travis Kelce from the following answer. I challenge you all. Peter, I'll start with you. Outside of those two, who will need to step up the most on Sunday to lift their team to a win?
I think there's going to have to be another option besides Kelce. And in recent weeks, we've seen players like Xavier Worthy step up and make plays, and Kareem Hunt, sure. But I'm looking at a 3-time first-team All-Pro and a potential Hall of Famer who is 32 years old and embarking upon his first Super Bowl appearance. Sunday afternoon, as everyone was flying into New Orleans, this tweet ran across my timeline, and I had to share it with the show. This is from DeAndre Hopkins as he was getting ready to prepare for his first ever Super Bowl week. To all the kids out there living in small towns and small houses with single parents, to the kids who see violence, who see loss, who don't get the resources they deserve, but who still have big dreams. Know that I was a kid in your exact shoes, and this week I'm playing in the Super Bowl. Don't give up, work hard, keep believing. Where you start doesn't determine where you end. Then there was another moment from DeAndre, thoughtful, introspective. On Monday night's opening night, Brandon Marshall, the former wide receiver, is having fun with the Chiefs players and says, hey, you're a really fashionable guy. What are you going to wear to the Super Bowl? And DeAndre Hopkins, who is so introspective now and is such just a man of confidence, but also one with his true with his feelings, says, my dad died in 1992. He was 5 months old, and his father passed away and left him just a few belongings. And one of them was a vintage mink coat. And DeAndre Hopkins said, I always said, I'm only going to wear that thing if I am getting to the Super Bowl or if it's my wedding day. Well, I'm not getting married anytime soon. So DeAndre Hopkins is going to be rocking his late father's mink coat as he walks into Super Bowl Sunday, and he brought it with him down here to New Orleans. This is all very, very real for Hopkins. 32 years old. Not saying it's his last stop, but this was a guy who was a first-team All-Pro from 2017 to 2019, has bounced around the league the last few years, and he hasn't had that mega game for the Chiefs just yet. But when I tell you, speaking to the players on Monday night about the other guys, DeAndre Hopkins' name keeps on coming up as a player that they're not only playing for, but as a player who can lead them to the promised land one more time. It's a different Chiefs team than other years. DeAndre Hopkins is one of those reasons why. An incredible story. He's going to be rocking the mink coat from his late father, and I think he's going to have to play a big game if the Chiefs are going to get by the Eagles on Sunday.
Great stuff, Peter.
Yeah, good story.
That coat would look pretty cool at a parade, too. I just wonder if one of those is coming. That might be appropriate. We keep kind of waiting for that huge DeAndre Hopkins moment. We feel like when he became a Chief, it's just this one moment in the title game of the Super Bowl, and maybe it comes on Sunday in the Superdome. If you tried, the conversation is frequent, I'm sure all over New Orleans, all over the country, about the Eagles and Saquon, and you can't talk about the Eagles winning this game, and Saquon's not in the first sentence. So I look at Nick Bolton on the other side, the linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. When Nick Bolton was in Lone Star High School in Frisco, Texas, he had 130 tackles as a senior. At Missouri, he had 15 tackles in one game against Vanderbilt. In his last Super Bowl, Nick Bolton had 13 tackles to lead all Chiefs. Nick Bolton needs to have one of these games. There is your Saquon guy. You talk all the time about someone who shadows or spies a running quarterback. I think 32 for the Chiefs is looking at 26 for the Eagles all day. And there they are colliding right there. It's a big time opportunity for Bolton. He was the hero in this last game, of course, with the scoop and score. I don't even need that. I just need someone to get in Saquon's way, to get past Lane Johnson, to get past Mailata. And Bolton, they got a lot of good tacklers on this team. Bolton's probably the most celebrated of them, but he needs to have a superstar game. I think if Nick Bolton's name is not mentioned a lot by Burkhardt and Brady, I think it's Saquon is doing really good things. I think 32 in the Kansas City Chiefs from Frisco, Texas, by way of Lone Star High School in Missouri, needs to have a massive game because somebody's got to stop Saquon, and he's coming right Nick's gap.